Hi, tech guys. I'm Nanpisa Swami, and today we will be continuing our intelligent automation series. So, in the last video, we have built a chatbot. Now, in this video, we will be enhancing our chatbot with tool calling capability. So, this is a kind of agentic architecture using LangGraph, and we will be giving our LLM model capability or making our LLM model capable enough to make tool agent or RPA bot or RD bot calling capability. So let's go ahead and open up your LangGraph page. In the LangGraph, the first part we have already completed in our last video. In this part, you can see it is enhancing the chatbot with tools. So if you scroll it a little bit down, in the LangGraph example, they are using this Travely search research, but this is a kind of required a little subscription or payment. So in our use case, since we will be all using open source or free uh, code, so in our use case, we will be having our own tool. That tool will be doing the activities that is defined in our own model or our own function. So if you scroll it little bit more down, this is the actual code snippet wherein we are making an LLM instance and binding with all the tool means giving our LLM capability to make the tool or these function call, or we can name it as agent call or bot call, whatever we can call it. But basically, we are making our LLM model capable enough to call certain functions. So if we look at our code, again, in the initial line of code, we are just importing couple of libraries. And here in the last video, we created an LLM instance from Hugging Face, which was Mistral 7 billion parameter model. And here you can see we are, instead of using this Travely mm, here, Travely search, we have created our own function called as search, and here we are checking if the user is asking for San Francisco in his query, then we are returning this message. So I have added two breakpoints. So whenever this search function is called, we will see that the bot is stopping on these breakpoints. And here we are making a list of all the functions. We can make or create multiple functions. So I'll just copy and paste. And this function should be tagged as a tool. And this tool is part of LangChain codes tool library or class. So here we are making it as a tool, and I'll give this function a different name, add task or create task. Call to create task. Task is create. And here also we can just have the same message. So now we can see we have created two different functions. So this function you can consider it as a what. These will be called by our LLM model whenever required. So how do we give access to these functions to our LLM model? For that, we need to create another variable, a list variable, wherein we'll just comma separated all of our created mod functions or tool or agent, and then here we create another node for this tool. And in this time, at this time, earlier we just created instance of LLM model by just calling this chat hugging face function and passing the LLM as a parameter. That was actually the LLM configs, which is part of this one. Here, what we are additionally doing is we are just binding all the tool, and tool are nothing but all the function or the task or the what activities that we want our model to perform. And in the next one, just we are figuring out, do we have our model's response that require a tool to be called? If yes, then it will pass on that tool's detail with the tool name and everything. So that tool can be called, or that function can be called, or that agent can be called. Then next what we are doing is we are creating a message with that tool response, user response, AI response, and then combining that message as a list. Here we are defining the LangGraph state, and state, or we can call it as a node. So different nodes are the agent node, tool node are set up here. And here we are setting up the edge, like from where our LangGraph process should start and where should it end. And finally, we are giving the workflow access to all of our tool and agents. And then in this one, here you can see we are creating the chain of all the messages, right from human to AI or tool or system, all the messages list, and then finally at the end we will be generating the response. So let's add a breakpoint and start running it in the debug mode. I'll just click on debug. So here from the line number 1 to 9, it's just importing the couple of libraries that we need in our use case. Uh, if you compare our code with what we have here in the LangGraph's code snippet, at the end you can see the final code, this one. The little difference that you will find is the modal detail, because we are going to use the Mistral Salvinian free hugging face model, and in this LangGraphs example they are using uh, this anthropic model, which is little paid. So since our objective is not to spend money on these experiment, and the next one is here we are just setting up all the configuration related to the model, how the model should be behaving and what model we will be using. Here we have certain function with the tag name is tool, and the tool is part of, here you can see LangChain code libraries instance, another function. So these functions are basically the actual robotic activities. So going forward, we will be creating more function with the robotic activities, so that will perform certain defined tasks there. And next, what we are creating is a kind of variable called as tool, which is a list variable. That list will contain all the functions that we created as part of RP or RD bot or agent or tool, whatever we can call it. Now we are creating a node for the LangGraph. Here we are creating an instance of the LLM model by binding these tools. It means we are giving the LLM model capability to call these tools whenever required. So here the instance is created. Yeah, instance is created. Now we have another function that will be called whenever required. Another function to call model. Now we are defining the graph, and now we are defining the two cycles between agent and tool. And here we are starting the entry point as agent. So whenever our LangGraph process starts, it will start with the user's input. And here you can see the workflow. Now we add another edge for the tool, an agent, tool to agent. And here we are giving certain memory to memorize what we are trying to do. And now we are compiling all the graph capabilities. Here we are passing as a user input is what is the weather in SR, what is the weather in San Francisco. So that's the human message we have given as a user input to our LLM model. And now LLM is called. Here you can see the message, and here you can see it's only having one list item, which is human message, and there we are passing what is the weather in SR. Now it will make a call to the agent and get the AI response. Now if you see, message is still like human message, but it will be appended the response that we receive from our model. So what model is doing? Model is asking or giving a response with asking to make a tool call. The tool name is search. Search is of the first function, and it will require certain argument or the parameter, which is weather in SF. That is like one string input parameter required in our the search function that we created, which is like our first tool. If you go on the top, search, and it will require a string input parameter. So these two things is a kind of response from the LLM model. Now if you go to the next, now if you see the message, it has two. First one, where is human is asking for what is the weather in SR. Now our AI model has identified that we need to make a tool call, but which tool it should be calling, that is here you can see in the response. It should be that function call, and here you can see the detail of that tool. Now it's gonna make that tool call or that function call. Here you can see it is in the search function with the input parameter or the query, which is whether in SR. That was the argument that we saw as part of AI message. Now it is responding back, or this function is returning its result, how or whatever we can make it a kind of a little big function wherein we can perform certain activities and perform it back after processing that request. Now it is returning. Okay, it seems like it has certain string parameter issue, so that we will fix later. But for now, we have made our LLM uh, model smart enough to call our bot or tools. So that was the objective. To fix these issues, we might need to fine tune or do certain prompt engineering that we will do in the next video. Till now, we just made our LLM model smart enough to make the tool calls or agent call or a bot call. In next video, we will be trying to fix these issues and moving to the part 3. So thanks for watching. See you again.